Downtown was glowing after midnight, streetlights drowning in summer rain, and a crooked little jazz club was calling every runaway name. Cadillacs line the avenue, engines humming low and deep, while trumpet smoke drifted through windows into a city that never sleeps. Inside, the crowd was loud and restless, sharp suits shining under gold. Everybody chasing freedom before the night grew old. A young man leaned against the jukebox, smile dangerous and smooth, the kind that walks through trouble slowly, like he's got nothing left to lose. People whispered all around him, talking low behind their drinks, but he just laughed into his whiskey without caring what they think. The piano rolled like thunder, loose and reckless through the room, while a saxophone screamed wildfire into clouds of cheap perfume. Some men live by quiet rules, others burn too hard to hide. Some were born to shake the whole room, every single night alive. A woman danced beside the spotlight, red heels moving soft and slow, like heartbreak wrapped in velvet under neon's crimson glow. The drummer snapped the rhythm harder, cymbals crashing through the haze, turning all the smoke and laughter into one electric blaze. Outside, police lights flashed briefly, somebody shouting down the block, but inside the jazz kept swinging, like time itself forgot the clock. The bartender kept on pouring, bourbon splashing into glass, watching lonely souls keep searching for a future or a past. The trumpet climbed into the ceiling, sharp as lightning through the blue, while every crowded body moving felt exactly what to do. Some nights are made for trouble, for fast cars and dangerous eyes, for music loud enough to bury every truth beneath the lies. By 4 a.m. the rain stopped falling, dawn crept softly through the gray, but the groove still echoed deeply, like it never went away. And somewhere in that fading nightclub, where the jazz refused to quit, a voice laughed through the smoke and said, "Careful now, you're messing with the kid." stretched beneath the moonlight, like a silver river through the dark. And an old jazz harmonica cried softly through the spark. A worn-out Cadillac rode slowly past forgotten roadside bars, headlights cutting through the midnight under tired southern stars. Inside a lonely driver whispered to the rhythm of the rain, trying to leave behind a woman and years of beautiful pain. The engine hummed like upright bass strings, deep and low against the night, while distant neon motel signs flickered red and ghostly white. He carried nothing but old memories, a suitcase and a restless soul, and the blues riding beside him like something beyond control. Some roads are built for running, for hearts too wounded to stay, for dreamers chasing freedom before the music fades away. The piano entered soft and smoky, slow as bourbon being poured, wrapping lonely miles together with every trembling chord. He drove past darkened diners, gas stations half asleep, while moonlight crossed the windshield like promises he couldn't keep. A woman's voice still haunted him, sweet as late night Tennessee wine, but love had turned into silence somewhere farther down the line. The saxophone rose through the darkness, warm and aching, fierce and blue, like every mile of empty highway still somehow led back to you. At the border town the rain stopped falling, dust rising beneath old boots, and somewhere in a roadside tavern a jukebox played forgotten roots. Truckers laughed through clouds of smoke, cards slapped hard against the wood, while the bartender poured cheap whiskey like he understood. The harmonica cried once more, long and lonely through the air. sound of men still searching for something no longer there. Dawn slowly touched the horizon, gold breaking through the gray. But the road kept rolling onward, and the blues refused to stay. Some hearts belong to highways, to midnight trains and broken songs, to smoky jazz bars after closing, where restless souls move along. The final trumpet faded gently as morning swallowed the night, and somewhere far beyond the desert, he kept driving toward the light.
Saturday night rolled through the city with neon glowing red and gold, and every crowded street corner carried stories waiting to be told. Outside an old downtown juke joint, people gathered beneath the light, dressed sharp, laughing loud, ready to disappear into the night. Inside the room was burning smoky, filled with trumpet cries and bass, while dancers moved like living fire across the worn-out wooden space. The drummer snapped a crooked rhythm, loose and wild with old school soul, and the piano bounced like whiskey, pouring fast without control. A man in a velvet jacket shouted, "Play that thing one more time." And suddenly the whole room answered, like church bells swinging in rhyme. Women twirled beneath dim lanterns, high heels tapping through the haze. Men leaned back with crooked smiles, lost inside the jazz blues craze. The saxophone came sliding sideways, dirty, playful, rough and sweet, like midnight itself had learned how to dance on Bourbon Street. Some people came to drown their sorrows, some just came to lose their name. Some were running from tomorrow, others chasing fortune, love, or fame. At the bar, the bourbon shimmered, amber under candle glow, while old bartenders kept on pouring like they'd nowhere else to go. A woman laughed beside the jukebox, lipstick bright as burning wine, and every lonely man around her forgot heartbreak for a little time. The trumpet climbed into the ceiling, sharp and wild against the night, while bodies swayed beneath the smoke, until dawn approached the light. Outside, the rain kept softly falling, cold against the avenue. But inside the club, the rhythm made the whole damn world feel new. Some nights are built for memory, others disappear by dawn, but jazz leaves fingerprints forever, long after the music's gone. The final groove kept spinning slowly, warm and reckless, deep and true. And somewhere in that crowded nightclub, the blues learned how to dance too. Across the graveyard, under cold and silver rain, while a lonely jazz trumpet echoed like a soul calling through pain. The city slept beyond the hillside, neon fading into blue. But down among the silent shadows, old heartbreak still wandered through. A woman walked between the headstones, long black coat against the storm, carrying memories like flowers that time could never transform. The piano inside a distant nightclub played soft through the midnight air, each trembling note sounding haunted by somebody no longer there. She whispered slowly to the darkness as thunder rolled far away, trying to hold one final moment that death had stolen away.
and hollow, heavy as a grieving heart, while rain kept falling through the silence, like the sky itself fell apart. Some loves don't fade with passing seasons, some remain beneath the skin, lingering like smoke after midnight, long after the song should end. She remembered his tired laughter, his hands warm against the cold, the way he danced beneath street lanterns, like growing old, never grew old. Now every corner of the city still carried traces of his name. Every jazz bar after midnight sounded beautifully the same. The saxophone cried slow and aching, smooth as whiskey mixed with tears, turning sorrow into melody for all the ghosts of vanished years. A grave digger stood beneath an oak tree, hat low against the rain, speaking softly to the silence, as if morning understood pain. The candles flickered near the roses, wet petals trembling in the night, while distant thunder wrapped the skyline in bruised purple light. She closed her eyes beside the headstone, listening to the mournful tune, and for one brief second imagined he still breathed beneath the moon. But dawn arrives for every dreamer, even hearts that never mend, and jazz keeps playing through the darkness, long after goodbyes end. The final trumpet faded slowly, rain still falling soft and thin, leaving only quiet echoes and the blues beneath her skin.
Midnight settled over the city, like smoke curling through dim cafe light, and a lonely upright piano started breathing into the night. A man sat alone near the corner, hat pulled low against his face, watching strangers drift like shadows through that old familiar place. The saxophone cried slow and weary, heavy with years of compromise, like somebody finally waking After living through borrowed lives, he spent too long chasing approval, trying to fit somebody else's dream, wearing polished smiles for strangers while breaking quietly at the seams. The bartender poured another whiskey, amber glowing soft and gold, while the bass line rolled beneath him like stories too tired to be told. Outside, neon signs kept flickering, cold rain washed the avenue, but inside the jazz kept burning with a sad and honest truth. Some souls were born for freedom, too restless to stay confined, too alive for imitation, too wild to fall in line. The trumpet lifted through the silence, sharp as memories after dark, cutting through years of pretending, straight into the deepest part. He remembered crowded rooms where everybody played a role, smiling faces dressed in glamour, hiding empty, starving souls. But tonight the music saved him, every note stripped clean and real, like the sound of someone finally learning how they truly feel. The drummer brushed the rhythm softly, gentle as a midnight train, while candlelight touched old photographs still stained with smoke and rain. A woman danced alone beside him, eyes reflecting lonely blue, moving slow beneath the ceiling, like she understood it too. No more chains made out of pressure, no more masks to wear for show. Some hearts only find their freedom when they finally let go. The piano wandered into silence, last chord fading with the dawn. And somewhere deep inside that nightclub, a different life was born. Outside, the city kept pretending, still chasing fortune, fame, and lies. But inside, the jazz kept whispering, be yourself before your spirit dies. Be yourself before your spirit dies. Rain fell softly across the boulevard, silver reflections under neon light, while a lonely jazz piano whispered through another sleepless night. Inside a fading midnight cafe, where cigarette smoke touched the air, a woman sat beside the window, lost somewhere between love and despair. Mine remained untouched for hours, her eyes drifting far away, like someone trying hard to forget. Words they still replay. The saxophone cried low and aching, slow as heartbreak after dark. Each trembling note wrapped gently around the chambers of her heart. She once believed in forever, in late night kisses and promises true. But love can leave without warning and still leave shadows in you. The singer moved closer to the microphone, voice rough with velvet pain, turning sorrow into poetry over soft percussion and rain. Outside the city kept dancing, taxis rushing through the storm. But inside that little jazz cafe, loneliness felt strangely warm. A bass guitar rolled softly beneath her, like footsteps fading down the hall, the kind that disappear forever without returning at all. She folded old letters slowly, pressed against trembling hands, memories fading like records spinning from another distant land. The trumpet rose like midnight fire, burning through the smoky blue, as if every broken lover had once sat where she sat too. Some hearts survive through silence, others break beneath the strain. Some keep dancing through the darkness just to outrun the pain. The drummer brushed the rhythm gently, soft as tears nobody sees, while moonlight touched the empty glasses beside the fading melody. And somewhere near the final chorus, as dawn approached the lonely room, she stood beneath the dim cafe lights, like a rose still learning to bloom. The music slowed into silence, rain still falling cold outside, but the jazz kept glowing softly, where old heartbreak learns to hide. The night train rolled through the city, like a lonely melody in blue. Streetlights shimmered on wet pavement, while old jazz drifted into view. Inside a narrow downtown lounge, where whiskey glasses softly shined, a trumpet cried with aching passion for hearts left somewhere behind. She entered slow beneath the spotlight, silk dress flowing smooth and fine, and every tired soul around her felt electricity through the spine. Some women carry quiet beauty, others own the whole damn room, the kind that turns fading evenings into dangerous midnight bloom. The piano moved like velvet thunder, gentle chords and smoky grace, while men forgot their conversations the moment they saw her face. Her laughter floated through the candlelight, warm as bourbon, rich and low, and every glance she gave the room made restless blood begin to glow. An old blues singer leaned back smiling, voice rough from years of lonely roads, singing about love so powerful it could heal forgotten souls. The saxophone answered softly, sweet and deep as summer rain, wrapping lonely strangers together inside one slow burning flame. Outside the city kept moving, cold taxis under endless skies, but inside the club, the music made broken spirits feel alive. Every note felt full of longing, every rhythm slow and true, like old romance refusing quietly to surrender to the blue. The drummer brushed the cymbals lightly, soft as whispers after dark, while dancers swayed beneath dim lanterns, like shadows learning how to spark. Some loves arrive like hurricanes, some drift in
in smooth and dangerous style, the kind that makes the whole world vanish for just a little while. And somewhere near the final chorus, as midnight faded into dawn, a lonely trumpet kept on singing, like love itself could still go on. The last slow chord hung in silence, warm against the fading night, and every soul inside that lounge still carried echoes of her light.
Midnight shimmered across the skyline, neon glowing red and violet blue, while deep lounge jazz rolled slowly through a rooftop crowded with perfume. The city felt electric tonight, fast hearts under tropical rain, where strangers dance too close together, trying to forget old pain. Inside the velvet lit jazz club, the rhythm moved sleek and low, the piano smooth as dark champagne, the saxophone wrapped in smoke. A woman crossed beneath the spotlight, high heels echoing through the room, and every restless soul turned slowly toward her magnetic bloom. She smiled like dangerous temptation, eyes shining gold beneath the light, the kind of glance that starts wild stories long before the end of night. The drummer tapped a Latin rhythm, warm and playful through the haze, while dancers moved against each other inside the midnight blaze. Some nights are built for consequences, some for romance dressed in sin, some for losing all your caution. The moment the music pulls you in, the trumpet cried smooth and seductive, the upright bass rolled deep and slow, and every whispered conversation started feeling dangerous below. Outside the rain kissed the avenue, street lights melting into streams, but inside the club the energy rose like fever chasing dreams. voice rough with charm and style, turning heartbreak into flirtation. One smooth lyric at a time. Glasses clinked beside the bar top, perfume drifting through the air, while strangers move like shadows dancing without a single care. The guitar burned like fire, sharp against the velvet night, and every soul inside that rooftop wanted one more taste of life. No one asked about tomorrow, nobody cared what morning brings, because jazz after midnight makes reckless hearts feel like kings. The saxophone drifted softer, warm against the pouring rain, and lovers leaned a little closer as the rhythm called again. Somewhere between desire and danger, between champagne and city light, two lonely hearts stopped pretending they wanted to leave tonight. And beneath those sleepless heavens, where rhythm and passion collide, a rooftop full of dreamers kept dancing long past midnight. Every night in the city feels colder lately, even with neon glowing bright, even with jazz pouring softly through crowded bars after midnight. Rain traced silver lines down windows, streetlights blurred in smoky blue, while an old piano somewhere downtown played memories that sounded like you. Inside a quiet corner lounge, a weary singer closed his eyes, letting heartbreak drift slowly outward beneath exhausted skies. The trumpet cried low and aching, warm as whiskey burning slow, and every note inside the room carried pain too deep to show. Some people hide sorrow smiling, some drown it inside crowded rooms, others let old jazz melodies say the things they never could. I've spent too many evenings wondering why love slips through tired hands, why lonely hearts keep searching for something they barely understand. Every day feels heavy lately, like clouds refusing to move, like carrying invisible storms no one else can fully prove. The upright bass walks softly, deep as footsteps in the rain, while cigarette smoke curled upward like ghost whispering your name. Nobody really notices heartbreak until it arrives in their own chest, until silence starts sounding louder than conversation or rest. Outside the avenue stayed restless, taxis rushing through the storm, but inside the music wrapped around me, quiet, lonely, warm. A woman danced slowly near the jukebox, eyes shining beneath cafe light. And for a second the whole world softened against the darkness of the night. Maybe sadness never fully leaves us. Maybe blues becomes part of the soul, turning every memory afterward into echoes that linger and roll. The drummer brushed gentle rhythms, soft as tears nobody sees, and the saxophone drifted through midnight like smoke carried by the breeze. I still think about your laughter, the way your voice could calm the room, the way your absence now hangs over everything like perfume after bloom. But jazz teaches broken hearts patience, teaches sorrow how to breathe, teaches lonely people slowly how to survive what they grieve. The final trumpet note faded slowly, rain still falling outside the door, and somewhere beneath the sleepless city, a wounded soul asked for more. Because even when love disappears, even when hope feels used and bruised, some hearts keep singing softly. Every day I have the blues. The storm returned just before midnight, rain striking hard against the boulevard, while deep electric jazz rolled slowly through the city's tired heart. Inside a basement blues lounge, Candles flickered low and red, and the trumpet sounded wounded, like sleepless thoughts inside my head. I spent the whole night restless, turning through tangled sheets alone, listening to thunder outside and memories through the telephone. Some loves never settle peacefully, they shake the soul too deep, leaving hearts wide awake at night when they should be asleep. The piano moved dark and smoky, each note heavy with desire, while the upright bass kept walking like footsteps through old fire. I wanted your love honestly, not halfway, not only when convenient, not only when loneliness arrived, because loving someone halfway can wear a spirit thin, like rain slowly breaking windows, one cold drop at a time again. Outside the neon signs flickered, blue against the pouring rain, and every passing taxi carried another stranger hiding pain. The guitarist leaned into his solo, wild and aching through the room, turning heartbreak into thunder inside the midnight gloom. You once held me like salvation, like nothing could pull us apart, but now every conversation feels like gambling with the heart. The drummer brushed soft little rhythms, low as whispers in the dark, while cigarette smoke drifted upward like faded promises and sparks. Maybe love should feel simple, maybe truth should arrive clean, but romance after midnight rarely becomes what it seems. Still, I'd rather hear honesty than live beneath uncertain skies, because confusion hurts deeper than even painful goodbyes. So if your soul no longer wants me, if your heart has changed its tune, let the jazz speak it gently tonight, before the dawn arrives too soon. The saxophone cried through the silence, warm and bruised and beautifully slow, and every lonely note tonight refused to let me go. Rainwater streamed down the windows, streetlights blurred golden blue, while somewhere inside the music I kept searching for you. And beneath those restless midnight skies, where blues and heartbreak twine, one weary soul kept whispering softly, please say you're mine. finally stopped falling, but the city still shimmered wet and gold. Neon signs flickering above the avenue, like stories waiting to be told. Inside a lively late-night jazz bar, the mood turned playful tonight. The piano bouncing bright little rhythms under warm amber light. A sharp-dressed singer leaned laughing against an old silver microphone, telling tales about romance and trouble in a voice rough as gravel stone. The crowd already knew the story, a love gone sideways again, the kind involving jealousy, bad decisions, and expensive mistakes between friends. The drummer snapped an easy groove, the upright bass rolled smooth and sly, while whiskey glasses clinked together beneath clouds of smoke drifting high. Then the guitar slid into laughter, playful and teasing through the room, turning heartbreak into comedy inside the midnight bloom. A woman near the dance floor smiled, tilting her hat just right, while everyone inside the club forgot their worries for the night. Because blues isn't always sorrow, sometimes it laughs through the pain, making broken situations sound funny, so the heart can breathe again. The singer joked about wasted money, about romance gone completely wrong, and the whole room shouted answers back, like they all belonged inside the song. Outside, the city buses rolled slowly, streetlights glowing silver blue, but inside the club the energy rose, like old trouble becoming new. The trumpet burst loud and playful, sharp as champagne popping free, and every tired soul inside started moving happily. A couple spun beside the jukebox, laughing harder with every beat, while boots tapped loud across the floorboards to the rhythm sweet and deep. No one worried about tomorrow, no one cared who lost or won, because jazz after midnight teaches life is strange but still fun. The saxophone cried one final phrase, warm against the smoky haze, and the bartender poured another round as the whole room swayed amazed. Even heartbreak can become music, even mistakes can turn gold. jazz band transforms sorrow into soul. And somewhere beneath those city lights, past the rain and neon glow, a crowded little blues club kept laughing long and low. The rain came down without mercy, cold against the apartment glass, while distant thunder rolled slowly, like memories refusing to pass. Inside a dim upstairs room, a lonely jazz record played, trumpet heavy with heartbreak and promises that slowly fade. I sat beside the window thinking about all the years gone wrong, about loving someone too deeply for far too painfully long. Some hearts grow tired quietly, not from hatred, not from blame, but from carrying all the sorrow, while nothing ever changes the same. The piano moved slow as midnight, each note bruised and blue, while cigarette smoke curled upward, like ghosts still tied to you. How long can a soul keep waiting? How long can love survive when every day feels heavier, just trying to stay alive? Outside the city looked endless, streetlights blurred beneath the storm, and every passing shadow felt colder than before. I remembered all the apologies, all the nights we tried again, only to end in silence, like strangers sharing pain. The upright bass walked low and weary, like footsteps down the lonely hall, and every jazz chord this evening sounded close to final call. Then something shifted softly, not anger, not revenge, only the quiet understanding that some stories cannot mend. So I stood beneath the dim light, opened the old closet door, and slowly packed the pieces of the life we had before. A coat, a photograph, a few old records, nothing more. because sometimes leaving quietly hurts less than staying sore. The saxophone cried one last time, warm against the pouring rain, like the sound of a wounded spirit finally stepping away from pain. No shouting echoed through the hallway, no dramatic final goodbye, only tired footsteps moving gently into the sleepless night. Outside the storm kept falling, taxis glowing red and gold, while the city swallowed another heart, trying not to break completely cold. Maybe tomorrow brings freedom, maybe loneliness for a while, maybe healing starts the moment you finally stop forcing a smile. The trumpet faded into silence. The rain kept washing the street, and somewhere beneath those midnight skies, a weary soul found peace. And down the long wet avenue, past the smoke and neon glow, one broken heart kept walking slowly into somewhere unknown.
Saturday night came alive early, neon glowing through southern rain, while old school country jazz rolled loudly down every crowded lane. Inside the wooden dance hall, boots stomped hard against the floor, and laughter echoed through the rafters like thunder begging for more. The piano player grinned wildly, sliding bright notes through the room, while the fiddle danced beside the trumpet in a smoky rhythmic bloom. Swing your partner, the old band leader shouted, voice rough with whiskey and cheer. And suddenly strangers spun together without a trace of fear. Couples circled beneath hanging lanterns, dresses turning red and blue, while the upright bass kept bouncing like a runaway midnight groove. Outside the rain cooled the highways, silver rivers down the town, but inside that hall the energy rose like joy refusing to slow down. A girl in a blue satin dress laughed while spinning through the crowd, hair shining beneath golden lights as the whole room sang aloud. The drummer snapped quick little rhythms, sharp as boots across old wood, and and every tired soul inside started feeling dangerously good. Some nights aren't built for sadness, some aren't meant for lonely tears. Some exist for loud music, fast dancing, and forgetting all your fears. The guitarist leaned into his solo, wild and playful through the haze, turning the crowded southern hall into a fevered musical blaze. Old men clapped beside the bar, young lovers held each other tight, and somewhere between jazz and country swing, everything suddenly felt right. The singer joked into the microphone, making the dancers laugh again, like music itself was medicine for restless hearts and wandering men. No one wanted the night to finish, nobody watched the clock, because a rhythm like this keeps burning long after the speakers stop. The fiddle cried one final melody, sweet against the pouring rain, while dancers moved slower together, like they never wanted daylight again. And somewhere beneath those glowing skies, where swinging blues belong, a crowded little country dance hall kept the whole town dancing strong.
The city moves slow beneath neon midnight, rain shining on crowded streets, while warm jazz floated through open windows, carried by the summer heat. Inside a smoky downtown lounge, the band played loose and wild, trumpets laughing through the darkness, with rhythm smooth and styled. A woman stepped across the dance floor, silk dress swaying with the beat, and suddenly every restless eye turned slowly toward her heat. The piano rolled playful and teasing, the upright bass walked deep and low, while every lonely soul inside forgot wherever they planned to go. There's something dangerous about confidence, about the way certain people move, like they already know the room belongs to them before they even choose. The drummer snapped sharp little rhythms, the saxophone burned honey gold, and laughter spilled beside whiskey glasses as the midnight stories rolled. Men leaned closer through the smoke, trying hard to hide desire, But jazz clubs after midnight always set the room on fire. A woman dancing under neon can stop conversations cold, turn strangers into dreamers, and shy hearts suddenly bold. Outside the thunder drifted softly, streetlights glowing blurred and blue. But inside the music kept rising, like romance breaking through. The singer smiled into the microphone, voice rough with southern charm, telling stories about temptation and nights too alive for calm. Some people chase trouble willingly, some chase beauty wherever it goes. Some lose themselves completely inside the spell a dancer throws. The trumpet climbed higher, laughing wild against the velvet air, while couples moved closer together like nobody else was there. No one wanted morning early, nobody watched the clock, because nights like this feel endless when the whole room starts to rock. The guitar cried slick and playful, the crowd answered with delight, and every note inside that club felt reckless in the best way tonight. Rain kept falling past the windows, silver rivers down the glass, while the city outside disappeared into smoke and jazz and brass. And somewhere beneath those midnight skies, where rhythm and desire blend, a crowded room kept dancing slowly, long after the night should end. Midnight burned hot across the city, neon trembling through pouring rain, while thunder rolled between the buildings, like anger searching for a name. Inside a crowded blues jazz club, the piano struck hard and low, and every cigarette-lit corner felt dangerous beneath the glow. A man stood near the jukebox, coat soaked dark from the storm outside, whiskey shaking in his clenched hand. Like fury he could barely hide. The trumpet screamed through the speakers, sharp as broken midnight glass.
while the upright bass kept walking, heavy and rough beneath the brass. Everyone in the room sensed trouble, the kind born from jealousy and pride. When heartbreak mixes with loneliness and nowhere remains to hide, he'd spent the whole night searching through alley bars and avenue lights, looking for the woman who disappeared into the night. Every stranger's face blurred together, every shadow looked like her, and every hour without answers only made the pain worse. The drummer hit a darker rhythm, fast and restless like a racing train, while thunder outside kept echoing the violence inside his veins. But deep beneath the anger burning, beneath the bitterness and shame, wasn't hatred at all, just heartbreak, too wounded to explain. Because losing love suddenly can make the strongest spirit fall, turning sorrow into wildfire inside the heart and all. The old bartender leaned in softly, said, "Son, don't let rage decide. Nothing good waits down that road at the end of wounded pride." For a moment the room grew quieter, only rain against the glass, only the lonely saxophone crying as midnight slowly passed. Then the piano softened gently, like the storm beginning to fade, and the man finally lowered his eyes at the mess heartbreak made. Some nights test the soul deeply, push broken hearts near the edge, but surviving pain with mercy takes more strength than revenge. Outside the rain cooled the city, streetlights glowing tired and blue, while somewhere far beyond the thunder, another lonely heart hurt too. The trumpet closed with one last whisper, low and mournful through the night, and the whole club sat in silence, watching darkness lose its fight. 'Cause even when love collapses, even when dreams burn out of sight, a weary soul can still walk away and leave the shadows behind. And somewhere beneath those rainy skies, where blues and heartbreak collide, a wounded heart keeps learning slowly how to survive the night.
Tomorrow night feels close already, even while we still hold each other now. as rain drifts softly across the city, and moonlight rests upon your shoulders somehow. Inside the rooftop jazz lounge, candles flicker gold and blue, while the piano plays so gently it almost disappears into you. The trumpet moves like slow emotion, warm and trembling through the air, and every note tonight keeps asking if love can truly stay somewhere. You sit beside me near the window, eyes glowing beneath midnight light, and for one beautiful moment the whole world feels perfectly right. But romance always carries mystery, especially after midnight wine, when promises sound eternal under stars and soft jazz time. Tomorrow changes everything sometimes, turns passion into memory too fast, leaving only perfume in the silence, and questions no heart wants to ask. Will your hands still reach for mine when the morning loses its glow? Will this tenderness survive daylight, or disappear with the night we know? The drummer brushes slow as breathing, the upright bass walks calm and deep, while strangers dance beneath chandeliers, like they're afraid this dream might sleep. Your lips taste sweet as confession, your heart beats soft against my chest, and suddenly the future feels fragile compared to this beautiful rest. Outside the city keeps moving, taxis sliding through silver rain, but inside this rooftop paradise, time slows down again. Maybe love exists exactly like jazz, impossible to hold forever, yet powerful enough in one moment to change the soul completely. The saxophone rises tenderly like moonlight over the sea, and every melody tonight feels written for you and me. that your voice will still call my name, that this romance survives the sunrise without fading away. But tonight I'll stop fearing endings, stop chasing what cannot be known, and simply stay here beside you while jazz wraps around our souls. The candles burn lower now, rain softening against the glass, and every second beside you feels too beautiful to pass. So hold me close before morning, before the stars surrender their light, and whisper those sweet dangerous promises one more time tonight. And somewhere beneath those dreaming skies, where romance and memory blend, two lonely hearts keep dancing slowly, hoping this feeling never ends.
Three in the morning feels different, like the whole city forgets how to breathe. Streetlights trembling through the rain, while lonely souls refuse to sleep. Inside a narrow jazz club downtown, only half the tables remain, and cigarette smoke drifted slowly through windows soaked with rain. The piano played soft and aching, each note heavy with desire, while the trumpet cried through midnight, like a heart slowly catching fire. I sat alone beside the counter, whiskey untouched in my hand, watching strangers disappear into shadow. I no longer understand, because somewhere tonight you vanished without goodbye, without a trace, leaving only silence behind you, and memories I can't replace. I searched every familiar corner, every avenue glowing blue, every late night cafe where lovers once whispered secrets true. The bartender shook his head slowly, said he hadn't seen you pass, then poured another drink in silence. As thunder rattled the glass. Some nights heartbreak feels physical, like cold iron in the chest, like exhaustion without sleeping, like a soul denied its rest. The upright bass walk low and mournful, deep as footsteps underground, while the drummer brushed soft rhythm, like tears without a sound. Outside the storm kept moving, flooding neon through the street, and somewhere inside the darkness I still expected us to meet. Maybe at the old train station, maybe near the river bend, maybe beneath the city lights, where we first called ourselves friends. The guitar solo rose suddenly, wild and desperate through the room, like someone fighting against loneliness inside the midnight gloom. I kept hearing your laughter faintly, like echoes through pouring rain, the kind of memory that lingers long after love becomes pain. By now the city looked exhausted, taxis fading one by one, and every sleepless heart tonight seemed afraid of what dawn might become. The trumpet climbed one final time, sharp against the fading blue, and every note carried sorrow, too honest to hide from truth. If this really is the ending, if your shadow's finally gone, then let the jazz remember us long after the night moves on. Tell the morning not to hurry, tell the rain to fall slow, because some hearts need a little longer.
velvet, rain whispering against the city glass, while deep romantic jazz drifted softly through a dim cafe built for the past. Inside the room the lights were golden, low enough to hide old pain, and couples swayed beneath the shadows like they never wanted dawn again. The piano rolled warm and gentle, smooth as bourbon after midnight, while the upright bass held every heartbeat, soft and deep beneath the light. You pulled me close beside the dance floor, slow enough to stop the world, and suddenly every lonely highway felt far away and blurred. Some nights aren't meant for talking, some feelings don't need words, only warm hands, slow music, and silence beautifully heard. The trumpet sighed like moonlight, tender through the smoky blue, and every note floating through the room felt stitched together for me and you. Outside the rain kept falling softly, streetlights glowing silver and gold, but inside your arms felt warmer than anything this city could hold. I've wandered through too many stations, too many sleepless roads alone, searching for comfort in strangers and temporary places called home. But tonight the world feels quieter, like heartbreak finally loosened its hold, like weary souls can still find peace inside jazz, tender and slow. You leaned your head against my shoulder, eyes half closed beneath cafe light, and the whole crowded room disappeared into one beautiful night. The drummer brushed soft as breathing, the guitar cried low and sweet, while lovers circled slowly together to the lazy midnight beat. Maybe love is simply this, a place where tired hearts can rest,
where someone holds your broken pieces close against their chest. No promises about forever, no fear about goodbye. Only one slow dance beneath the rain as jazz drifts through the sky. The saxophone rises gently now, warm as fire in winter cold. And every melody tonight feels too precious to let go. So rock me softly through the darkness, through the smoke and candle glow, before the night surrenders slowly and morning asks us both to go. And somewhere beneath the fading storm, where lonely dreamers move, two tired hearts keep swaying gently inside the rhythm of love.
Rain followed the highway all night long, silver streaks against the windshield glass, while old jazz played softly through the speakers, like memories refusing to pass. The road stretched endless before me, wet beneath pale motel signs, and every mile carried echoes of heartbreak left behind. I've grown tired of crying lately, tired of conversations with ghosts, tired of loving people deeply who disappear when needed most. So now I keep driving forward through midnight towns and fading blue, searching for something quieter than the pain that once led back to you. The trumpet sounds lonely tonight, low as thunder across the plains, while the upright bass keeps walking, like tires humming through the rain. I remember the first cold winter, I traveled with nowhere to stay, no money in my pockets, no safe place waiting along the way. Only train stations, cheap cigarettes, and dreams too stubborn to die, while snow kept falling silently
across an unforgiving sky. Some people inherit comfort, some inherit gold or land, others inherit restless roads and loneliness hard to understand. The piano rolls slow and weary, like a soul too tired to fight, yet still somehow continuing onward through another endless night. I think about my mother sometimes, her voice soft as candle flame, praying life might spare her son from sorrow, whiskey, and shame. But certain hearts are born wandering, unable to remain still long, always hearing distant highways inside every blues song. Outside the storm keeps building, lightning flickers through the dark, and every passing roadside diner feels like a temporary spark. Still somewhere beneath exhaustion, a quiet strength survives, because broken souls often learn how to keep themselves alive. The saxophone rises gently, warm against the midnight cold, like a reminder that even weary hearts still carry stories worth being told. Maybe tomorrow brings sunlight, maybe another love appears, maybe somewhere beyond these highways peace finally replaces fear. Until then I keep driving forward through midnight towns and fading blue, searching for something quieter than the pain that once led back to you. The trumpet sounds lonely tonight, low as thunder across the plains, silver streaks against the windshield glass, while old jazz played softly through the speakers, like memories refusing to pass. The road stretched endless before me, wet beneath pale motel signs, and every mile carried echoes of heartbreak.
Saturday night exploded through the city, neon burning red and gold, while wild jazz poured from every doorway, too loud for hearts to stay controlled. Down at the old Union Hall, the wooden floor shook with sound, trumpets blazing, piano rolling, people dancing shoulder to shoulder around. The bartender kept pouring whiskey, the drummer hit a reckless groove, and every tired soul inside that room suddenly remembered how to move. Rain hammered the streets outside, but nobody cared tonight, because inside the club the energy rose like thunder wrapped in light. Sharp-dressed hustlers crowded the corners, fast-talking queens on the floor, laughing loud beneath cigarette smoke like they'd never been hurt before. The upright bass walked heavy and dirty, the saxophone screamed with delight, while dancers spun beneath flickering chandeliers straight through midnight. Some nights aren't made for romance, some aren't built for sitting still. Some nights demand loud music, broken rules, and dangerous thrills. The guitar player leaned back laughing, sliding fire through every chord, turning the whole packed room into one unstoppable roar. Women in velvet dresses shouted, men stomped whiskey into the ground, and the whole wild hall kept shaking to that deep southern sound. Outside, taxis splashed through puddles, blue neon trembling in rain, but inside the jazz kept climbing higher like joy escaping pain. The singer called out names through the microphone, inviting every soul in town, because tonight nobody sleeps early and nobody slows down. Tables rattled from the rhythm, old windows steamed from heat, while dancers moved like hurricanes to the unstoppable beat. By 2 a.m. the room looked beautiful, sweat, smoke, laughter, wine, like 1,000 lonely people finally feeling alive. The trumpet burst one final solo, sharp as lightning through the hay, and strangers hugged like old-time friends inside the musical blaze. No one talked about tomorrow, no one cared what came next, because jazz like this only asks one thing: live fully while it exists. And somewhere beneath those stormy skies, past the whiskey and trombone, a wild little midnight party kept roaring all night long. The night was alive with rhythm,
rain tapping the city slow, while jazz rolled through the crowded lounge, like fire beneath the glow. Inside the club, the lights burned amber, soft against velvet walls, and laughter floated through the smoke, like echoes down long halls. The drummer snapped a playful rhythm, the upright bass moved slick and low, while the guitar danced through the speakers with a teasing midnight flow. You leaned beside the jukebox smiling, hair shining beneath neon blue, and suddenly the whole room shifted every time I looked at you. Some nights aren't built for sadness, some aren't made for goodbye tears, some are meant for playful touches and forgetting all your fears. The piano rolled smooth and flirtatious, warm as bourbon on the tongue, while couples laughed beneath chandeliers, feeling reckless, feeling young. You move closer through the music, slow and easy with the beat, and every glance between us turned the air electric heat. Outside the storm kept falling, silver rivers down the street, but inside the jazz kept burning wild, romantic, sweet. The singer joked into the microphone, voice rough with southern charm, making the whole crowd laugh together like nobody carried harm. Then the guitar solo started rising, sharp and playful through the room, and dancers filled the wooden floorboards beneath the smoky bloom. You spun slowly beside me, perfume drifting through the haze, and suddenly time felt suspended inside your glowing gaze. The trumpet answered with laughter, bright against the midnight blue, like the soundtrack to two strangers turning into something new. No heavy promises tonight, no talk about forever plans, only jazz, warm lights, and the comfort of your hands. The drummer brushed the final rhythm, the saxophone faded low, while rain kept singing softly against the window glow. And somewhere beneath those city lights, where romance and music blend, two lonely hearts found healing.